Hey guys. First things first, I just want to say that I want to start showing my face a little bit more because before I started posting like a month or two ago, like those videos are like 3 years old, 4 years old. So I just want to show my face a little bit more, get familiar with the camera because I'm actually really shy going out in public. I'm not the person that wants to be looked at, having the center of attention. Like, I'm not that type of person. So I'm gonna try to be dropping videos maybe a week for dropping a week or every 2 weeks because I'm actually extremely busy. I'm trying to work at the same time, so I really don't have a lot of time to drop videos, but I'm just working with what I can. Also, we have a camera and a laptop, but I'm not really familiar with cameras or laptops. And as you can see, my old videos, I don't really edit much. Well, I didn't edit a lot of those videos, but I'm starting to get a little bit better with editing in my last few recent videos. I didn't edit a little bit, and then I'm using my phone, and then I'm using iMovie, and I don't have the best setup. So, I'm just working with what I can for right now. Until she gets up there, she can get a little bit more time, a little bit more money. Make my videos a little bit better. But from the title, as you can see, I'm going to be talking about the time that I got played. So this is my first story time on here. Well, it ain't my first time getting played. It's the worst time. It ain't the first time, but it's the worst time. And I look a little crazy because I got my eyelashes done maybe 2 weeks ago, and it started falling out 1 week. And this one has like barely none, and this one has damn near full eyes. So just bear with me, okay? I'm trying to look my best. I come on camera. You come on camera trying to look your best. That's why I wasn't dropping no videos, because I wasn't looking the best. It is what it is. But let's get into the story time. Well, this story time is like maybe 4 years ago, so it's a little fuzzy in my head, but I'm gonna try to like remember a lot of the stuff. And then two, if I like think of something, I'm probably gonna be like, oh, remember this? So just bear with me in the story time. So I was working at this place called Surreal Spice. It's a salad place. I was working with my friends and all that, and then co-workers, but we was all cool. And this was like I was a junior. Yeah. I met this guy in like May, the beginning of May, so we was about to get out of school. But I was still working this job as a junior. I had been working there for maybe 4 months or so, and then his mom started working with me. We was in a bag, and I was like chopping up stuff because it's a salad place, so you just chop up ingredients and like fresh salad ingredients. And I'm in the back, and she's new. When somebody's new, like, I don't talk to them. I'm really shy. Like, I just don't talk. I'm not a big talker when it comes to meeting new people. But she was new, so she was like, do y'all know my son? I was like, do you know my son? I'm like, who's your son? And me, I'm from Nashville, so I didn't really know too many people. I wasn't out there. I wasn't going out. Like, I was just at home. Like, she was not going nowhere. So she was like, you know my son? I'm like, who's your son? I'm not gonna say his name, but we just gonna call him Key. And she was like, you know my son? And I was like, what's his name? And she was like, she said his name, but we're just gonna call him Key. And I was like, no, I'm not familiar with that name. But she was like, he go to Antioch High School. And if you're from Antioch and you're from Nashville, like, Antioch and Cambridge is close, and then like we're rival schools. So I was just like, I really didn't know too many people from Antioch. I know who made themselves known, but this guy, he was kind of low, so I really didn't know who he was. So I was like, nah, show me a picture. So she showed me a picture, and she was like, I really don't have his Instagram. Like, he changed his handle a lot, and I just really don't have Instagram. But I have a picture of him, and I was like, okay, show me. She told me, and I was like, oh, okay, girl, he cute, he cute, he cute. And she was like, yeah, he be up here all the time. He be getting money from me or, like, getting something from me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I never seen him. And she was like, yeah. All of us studying. This nigga comes maybe a week later or a couple days later. He comes in with his friend. And, like, I guess we was slow that day, so I was up in the front. I work in the back. I'm not a, like I said, I don't like talking to people. When I worked on the register before, people were saying I was rude. I had a mean face. I was selling the wrong shit. So I was just like, I'm not working the register. Put me in the back. Nobody can see me. Period. But that time, like, I was cool with everybody, so we were just in the front, just kicking it and stuff like that, just talking. So he was in there. He came in there with his friend. He was getting something from his mama, of course. And I don't know what happened, but I think one of the girls was like, I told him that he was cute, and then one of the girls was like, you want me to get his number? And I was like, shit, get it, girl, get it. He leaves, and then when he come back, she was like, I got a friend that wants your number. And he didn't ask who. He just was like, all right. And my scary, I done dropped behind the counter, and I was just listening to the conversation. So long story short, he gave the number out. So I had the rest of the shift to go. It was probably like 2. I was getting off to like 8, 9. So we talking the whole shift. He's taking back fast. And I was like, you don't even know who you talking to right now. He was like, is it the girl with the braids? And I was like, yeah. Cause my other friend, my best friend, she was right beside me. But like, he was like, is it the girl with the braids? And I was like, yeah, it's me. And we just talking. You know, I was at work, so I really couldn't talk too much. But we was just texting back and forth. Like, he was like, well, what are you doing this weekend? I just remember we was talking, and he ended up saying that. I just remember that. He was like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, you want to do something this weekend? I'm like, okay, you want to, like, take me out. You want to take your girl out on a date, period. And I wasn't really used to that. And he had a car. And none of these people that I really knew, the niggas that I talked to before had cars. But he had a car. And I don't even think I had a car then. So I'm like, bet, he wanted to take me out. So he was like, you want to go to the carnival this weekend? And around, everybody know it ended like around the 1st of May or like all May, the carnival comes back around. So the carnival was here. He was like, you want to go to the carnival? And I was like, bet, we can go to the carnival. I didn't really go, but because that was going to be my first time going. Even though I was living in Indiana for a couple of years, I never went. So I'm like, all right, we can go to the carnival. So, you know, everything going good. We talking for a week until, you know, it's time for us to go out. So we didn't end up going to the carnival. 2, this boy taking forever. You know, I had to ask my daddy. I was young. I was probably like 17 or 16. And I had to ask my daddy, could I go? And he was like, yeah, you can go. You just got to be in by a certain time, you know, young shit. So he was like, you got to be in by a certain time. And I was like, all right, bet. And like, this nigga, I'm telling him the time that I got to be back home, and he's running late. I'm like, dude, we ain't going to have time to do nothing. So he's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Because he wasn't trying to go to the carnival no more for some reason. So he was like, you want to go kart riding? And I'm like, on the first day, I mean, that's not really nothing that I want to do. But I was like, all right, just so we could just do something. And I was like, all right. So we go. He finally comes, still late as hell. He came late. So I think we just had like an hour and a half just to hang out. And I'm like, wow, you really came late. Like, that should have been a first strike. You came late to come get me. So we go. We drove all the way out there. It was in like Nashville. So we drive all the way out there, and we get in there, and they like, oh, it's like a 2-hour wait. And I'm like, well, we can't do it because I gotta go. I gotta be home by a certain time. So we just sat in the parking lot and talked. He was like, you hungry? And I was like, no, you know me. I probably was hungry, but I don't eat on the first thing. You know, you can't. You gotta be cute. Can't be doing all that. And he's like, and then too, he's like, you want McDonald's? And I'm like, no. Don't like McDonald's. So, and I think my daddy had probably grilled that day too, so I might have not been hungry. But I was just like, no. So we just talking, and it wasn't really a good first date. Like, it was kind of boring. So I'm kind of like, I want another date, my nigga. So we ended up going home, and after that, we probably texting, FaceTime, whatever. Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-whoop. So he was one of those guys that was really clingy. And I wasn't really used to that. I really didn't like it. And, like, it was really good in the beginning. At this point, like, we talking so heavy. Not so heavy, because, like, we didn't even talk that long. We talked from literally May to, like, July. So, at this point, I'm asking my daddy, like, can I go to his house? This is my first time going to a nigga house. I'm going to his house, meeting his family. Like, they're so cool. They're so nice. And I don't know, we was just chilling, and one day I was just like, and he taking pictures or whatever of us. I'm taking pictures, like, like high school shit in the mirror. You taking pictures. So we taking pictures, and he ended up posting one and tagging me. Bitches is nosy. They started following you and stuff. But I get this one particular follower, and it's yeah, okay, I'm not even gonna say her name, but I get this one particular follower, right? So, like, weeks later, or maybe a week later, I'm like, or maybe days later, I'm like, so, who's your ex-girlfriend? I'm like, who's your ex-girlfriend? What's her name? And he's like, he tells me her name. And I'm like, oh, really? What's her Instagram name? I don't even know what led me to even ask this in the beginning, but I'm like, what's her Instagram name? And he told me, and I'm like, oh, she just followed me like last week. So now that I know who it is, because I did follow her. I did unfollow her after I knew who it was, because obviously, bitch, you trying to be nosy. So I unfollowed you, and I'm gonna let you continue to look and see what I'm doing. So, boom. She still followed me. And really, around that time, everything was good, but I wasn't posting him as much as he was posting me. And I even gave him my Instagram password. He kept posting himself, and every time he posted himself, I was deleting it because I didn't know we was gonna be good. Obviously, we wasn't gonna be good, and I just wanted to keep it on the low. Like, you moving too fast, my boy. You moving too fast. So I wasn't really posting him like that. I may have posted him once, but after that, I was just like, nah. And because you just never know, like, what niggas is doing. Like, they be on some sneaky stuff. So, what happened? So, by this time, I ended up getting me a car. And he was going on a trip to, I think, Michigan or something. He was going somewhere. But he was going on a trip with his friend, and I think he with his cousins or something, or meeting his cousins out there or something like that. But he was going on a trip. So he's out there. I think he's going out there for like a week or something, or maybe a couple of days. But he's out there, and I'm like, I'm gonna let him have his fun. Like, he's probably not even texting me like that, but I'm gonna let him have his fun. So I think I ended up posting my Snapchat. This girl still been following me. His ex is still following me on Instagram. So I ended up posting my Snapchat. And I'm like, y'all come follow me. So of course I get a little bit of followers. Like, some people keep adding me. Some people's adding me. So I get this one follower. And when you add somebody and then they end up on your chat side. So of course I'm going to look at that, but other than that, I wasn't gonna watch that person's story. But they ended up on your chat side. So this person posted a black screen, and it was like, y'all. So she said, "Key need to text me," or something like that. I don't even know what. I can't even remember what she said, but I think she was like, "Key need to text my phone," or he not texting me back, something like that. But whatever it was, he wasn't texting her, whatever. So I text her. Mind you, I don't even know who this person is, but they had the same name. So I'm like, not the same name, but it was like a nickname that he goes by, and she said that. So I text her, I'm not even knowing who this bitch is, but I'm just like, who is Key? I'm like, that's my nigga. Who is that? Like, who is that? And she's like, I don't know. No, she's like, that's my cousin. My cousin is named Key or whatever. She was like, I don't know who that is. Something, but whatever it was, she lied and said that she don't know who that is. So then I'm like, all right, bet. So I screenshotted her name to where like you can't see that I screenshotted. I just screenshotted her username and I sent it to him. And I'm like, who is this? And by that time, he didn't even text me back. He didn't text me back the rest of the night. But before he even texted me back that morning, I found out who it was. It was her. It was his ex. So I found out who it was because I knew who she was because he told me her Instagram name. So when I looked at her Instagram, I seen that she had the same pictures up as her Instagram, but she was reposting them on Snapchat. So she can know, so I guess I can know who she was. But she had a whole different like username, Snapchat username, and a whole different name. So I didn't know who it was. That's why I didn't know who it was. It was like a whole different username. It didn't have her name in it at all. So I didn't know who it was. But the fact that she was using this person's name and then trying to tell me that it was her cousin, like, I'm just like, okay, she's talking about him. So I texted him, I'm like, that morning, and was like, oh, I think that's my ex. Obviously, she said, Key is not texting me back. So obviously, y'all still communicating for whatever reason. Like, you're in a whole different relationship. You're still communicating with this girl. And she's like putting your business out there. She's already saying that y'all talking. And you're going to say, oh, I think that's my ex. Boy, you know that that's your ex. Stop playing with me. Period! So I was like, you need to tell her to stop mentioning you. And y'all need to stop talking. So that was my fair warning. But I know that they were previously talking. So I'm like, okay, y'all need to stop talking. What are you talking to her for? Y'all have nothing to talk about. You have a new girlfriend right here. So what are you doing? And he was like, all right, I'm gonna tell her to quit texting me. And so he screenshotted it. He did tell her. He screenshotted it and told me, and so sent me what they were saying. So I was like, all right, bet. And I wasn't the one that go through phones. So after that, I was like, okay, we nipped it in the bud. Like, we straight. No. So he ended up texting me one day, and he's like, can you come spend the night with me? You can park your car down the street. My granny won't know. You can leave in the morning. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, no, I'm not with that. Anybody that know me know that I am a goody two shoes. And I'm not going to sneak nobody in. I'm not going to sneak out. I'm not about to take nobody's car. I'm not about to smoke. I'm not about to drink. I'm not about to do nothing that I'm not supposed to do until my age comes. And at that time, I was like 17, and I was not doing none of that stuff. So I'm like, I'm not about to sneak to your house, spend a night. No, not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it. And this is good information that y'all need to know because it's going to get brought back up later. So, like, I'm thinking we good or whatever. I don't even know how. We was good. It was good to me.
I ended up buying us a matching outfit or whatever. We were planning to go to this movie. What movie was coming out? I think it was like Incredibles 2. Like the newer Incredibles. So, we were going to do that. And, y'all, he never paid for nothing. I always pay for everything that I wanted. If we went out, like, I always pay for everything. Sometimes I pay for both of us. Sometimes I pay for just myself. Like, he just really wasn't trying to pay for me. So I was just paying for myself. I mean, that should have been another fair warning, bitch. Get the fuck out. Warning, bitch. Run.
But you know when you like somebody, you just, like, overlook everything. So I was just overlooking everything because I liked him. Everything. And I mean everything. Because it was some more shit. But I was overlooking it. So I bought us matching outfits or whatever, and like before we went to go to the movies, I'm being petty now because I know that she she lied to me. So I'm being petty. I'm posting stuff and I'm just like flexing, bitch. I got a car. You're 18. I'm 17. I got a car. And like, you're just not doing nothing for yourself. You just not. I'm like, yeah, I got a car. I'm posting it on Snapchat. And I told my friends to go like add her or whatever. And I wasn't watching her story, but you know when you post a black screen and it's like white letters, you can still see what that person's saying if you read the card. So I wasn't trying to watch her story, but if she posted something like with words, like I could see it. I can read it, even if I watched it or not, because I was being nosy too. But I wasn't trying to let her know that I was being nosy. So she was like, "Oh, her friends is trying to She posted her friends is trying to follow me or add me. I'm about to make my page unprivate, my Snapchat unprivate, so everybody can know what I'm posting. Or like it could be a party and it's like something she was trying to say smart, slick or whatever. And then I think she ended up saying like, should I embarrass this bitch?
I post our nigga. She was saying that, like, should I embarrass this bitch and post our nigga? And like, you know, Instagram. I wasn't following her on Instagram, but she posted on Instagram as well. I think her page was like open on Instagram too. I don't know. I don't think so. But she posted like a poll. You know, Instagram has polls, so she posted like a poll. Should I post our nigga? Embarrass her and post our nigga? And like, people were saying like, no, yes. It don't matter if it was more numbers in a no or more numbers in a yes. She was still gonna post that shit. And then people sliding up like, don't embarrass that girl, don't embarrass that girl. The whole time I don't even know who they're talking about. I don't know. I'm lost. So me and him, we end up going to the movies, and we walk into the door, and she screenshot our chat. So I'm like, babe, look at this. Your ex-girlfriend just screenshot our chat. What she screenshot our chat for? So he's like, I don't know. So we get up in the movies, and I'm telling you, like, Incredibles 2. I know that was a good movie. I didn't even get to watch it, but I know it was a good movie. And I paid my own money for this, so you know I wanted to watch it. You know I was mad. So I was already mad at the fact that she screenshot our chat because we didn't talk about nothing. That was the only thing that we talked about was the first time that I asked her who she talking about, and she screenshotted it. But I think she just made me screenshot it so I can watch her story, because I wasn't watching it, but I seen it even though she know I didn't watch it. So I told him, and I'm talking about not even 10 minutes into the movie, he walks out. He gets up and walks out. So it's like, I'm like, all right, because I don't know what happened. Okay, this what happened. Before we got in the movies, and I asked him, I was like, do you talk to her? He was like, no. I said, I'm gonna ask this one more time. Do you still got contact with this girl? No. Okay, cool. So we get in the movies. I'm not talking to him because I know he lying. Why is she screenshotting my stuff? I know he lying. I just know it in my gut. I just feel it. So he walks out the movies 10 minutes in, and he don't come back in. So it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by, and I text him, I'm like, where you go? He was like, to the car. And I was like, all right, Ben, I'm finna come out there, because what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I meet him halfway, and he's like, bro, she posting stuff. And I'm like, who? Who are you talking about? And he's like, my ex. So we walk out to the car, and I'm like, what is she posting? I'm like, give me your phone. So he still follows this girl. Don't know why he still following her, but he still follows her. So I was like, let me see your phone, because I can't see what she posting because I don't follow her. But she's posting messages, pictures, old ass pictures, and it could have been new, but I think they were old. She posting old ass pictures, but new ass messages. Okay, sometimes she would text him first, sometimes he would text her. And the reason why I told y'all to remember this information about him asking me to spend the night, because he asked her the same thing right after he asked me. You text her this because I want to go. Like, I'm your girlfriend. You just gotta respect that. Like, I don't want to go over your house, period. I wasn't gonna do that. Like, when they was dating, that's what she did. She put the night and all that type of stuff. But I wasn't gonna do that. And we was like, what, a month or two in? I was gonna do that. So she posted pictures, and she tagging me. She's like, look at our nigga, sis. Like, look at our nigga. And I'm just like, oh, no. Like, I'm talking about mad embarrassing. So I'm just reading everything. The messages. She's texting him first sometimes. He's texting her first sometimes. Sometimes he wasn't texting back. She's like, where's your girlfriend? Just so fucking embarrassing. I'm just like, what? Why is y'all even talking? I told you to quit talking to this girl when I told you. But, you listen. No.
So I call up my best friend and I'm showing her, I'm telling her everything. She's like, no way, bitch. Come to my house. And I was like, okay, bitch. So I was like, he come out at the car telling me, give me my phone, bro, give me my phone. But why is you mad? I'm the one that should be bad. I'm over here laughing because I'm like, wow. You know when something just be really crazy, just like, wow, you really dogging me out right now? Like, wow, I did it. I would have did anything for you. I was already doing anything for you. I'm just like, wow. You're disgusting. And so I'm like, okay, take me to my best friend's house. I'm talking about he was so mad. He was speeding. He got there in like 10 minutes. If you know, anybody know, if you know where the movies in Green Hills to Antioch, it's a little drive. But he was pushing that bitch. He on the phone calling people like, bruh, she gonna get me killed. She gonna get me beat up. Like, I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know who he was talking about. But I didn't give a fuck. Like, we didn't say nothing the whole ride. When he took me to my friend's house, I just got in the car, got out the car and shut the door. And I didn't text him. And he probably, I don't know, bro. Like, you know, niggas, after you just, I don't know. It was just so embarrassing because I was just getting so many friend requests. Like, she was tagging me and just looking so embarrassing. But, like, whole time, you know, she's just jealous. She was just jealous whole time because he wasn't talking to her. Like, I don't know how you can be that jealous. Like, just go find you another nigga, sis. Like, damn, you just fucked it up. Everything was going so good. But I guess not good enough because I got me a real nigga now. But she was just posting all this stuff and she deleted it off Instagram and she gonna text me on Snapchat and say, I'm gonna resend these to you, sis, just in case you want them or just in case you want to see them. And I was like, so he gonna lie and say, that ain't me, bro. Them messages ain't me, bro. So I'm like, all right, bet. So since when she texted me, I was like, he said that ain't him, but screen recorded, because that's when you could screen record. So I was like,
screen record the number. And she was like, all right, sis, I ain't gotta lie. So she screen recorded that number. It was his. So I'm like, why are you sitting over here lying? So I saved it and I sent it to him. Just lying.
Like, I guess she really did have feelings for him because when she screenshot with the number, you know, when you could still see the images in your when you look at the info on the number. So she scrolled all the way down. She made sure I seen that. Like, they had pictures of them naked and everything, and she was just showing me that. And it's like, I didn't care. Like, I don't know why you're showing me this stuff. So of course when I get home, he's calling me. He wants to call me. He wants to FaceTime and get on FaceTime, go to sleep like we used to do. But boy, it ain't even the same no more. Like, you just dog me. It's not like he cheated, but like, you still interacting with your ex and like, why are you doing it? That's not cool. So he's still trying to plead his case, and I'm just like, it's just not the same. Like, of course, like, I tried to like take him back or whatever, but it just wasn't it. Like, it wasn't the same anymore. You can't go back to nobody that just, you let this bitch embarrass me, and I ain't never been embarrassed like that before. So it really hurt my feelings. You know, I tried to take him back. His mama even tried to make me take him back, and I'm just like, no, sis, it just ain't the same. I know my worth. I feel like I know my worth a little bit more now, but back then I knew it just a little bit, and I knew that wasn't right. And then I feel like a couple weeks later, she ended up texting me on Snapchat again and was like, girl, tell your nigga to quit talking to me. I'm like, girl, that's not my nigga. She was like, oh, okay, good. Like, I feel like she just wanted to know if that's my nigga or not, or unless he probably still communicating with her. Like, I don't know. I just be, when somebody cheat on you, just be like, what did this bitch have better than I have? Like, we have the same things. So I just don't get it. If you want to be single, go ahead and be single. Like, I might be sad a little bit, but I'm gonna get over it. Trust me.
I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And if y'all want some more story time, just let me know down below.